Hey guys, it's Kaelin Scotty here from challengecouple.net. We wanted to give you guys that episode. We've taken several comments from you guys on what you would like to hear, and one of the ones that was really came up a lot was about fear and overcoming fear. So what we decided to do today is basically share some of our fears with you guys when we first got started, and basically how we overcame those fears, and what exactly ours were, what steps did we take, and a lot of the things that helped us along the way overcome those fears. So I know Scotty has one he wants to share with you guys that I'm sure is pretty common out there. So go ahead.
One of my fears, and if you watch our story, the fear I talk about the most on there is I did not like people. I mean, that's just straight up honest with you. I had a fear of talking to people. It wasn't just the fear of the telephone. It was the fear of talking to people wherever, out and about, on the phone, just period. And it was definitely a heck of an accomplishment to step outside my comfort zone, which is the only thing that got me there. I had read a quote literally the day I signed up that said, "Success is found outside your comfort zone." And I realized that if I ever wanted to live a life I dreamed about, or live a life unlike others are able to live, I had to step outside my comfort zone to get there. And stepping outside of that would mean talking to people, which is obviously the number one cause of this entire business. And but go ahead.
So one of mine was rejection. That was one of my biggest ones. I really, really struggled with people telling me no all of my life. This goes back all the way to McDonald's when I wouldn't even go up to the register and ask for ketchup because I was afraid they would tell me no. So I would send my younger sister up there to ask for ketchup. So rejection was one of my biggest ones. The biggest thing that helped me was during my first 2 weeks of the business, a book was introduced to me called My First Year in Network Marketing. The very first chapter is called Rejection Rocket. That chapter solely is responsible for helping me through the rejection process of this business and this industry. And, that was one of my biggest things. And then the other thing that was also shared with me that helped me through it was I used to be a waitress, and someone shared the story with me that, you know, kind of this business is exactly like being a waitress. You go around to people's tables and you ask them if they would like coffee or dessert or, an appetizer, and they say, no. And that's fine because right now is just not the right time for them to have coffee or dessert or an appetizer, and your feelings don't get hurt over them saying no to you. This is the exact same way because in this business, it's not a no, I don't like you, no. It's a no, it's just not the right time for me, or no, just not right now. So rejection was one of the biggest things that I have to get over. I would totally recommend reading the book My First Year in Network Marketing, especially the first chapter called Rejection Rocket. It definitely helped me a lot.
Definitely. Another fear of mine was obviously not being successful. I was afraid of, number one, we're all afraid of making that initial leap of faith to do something like this, to do one of those things, which is the way we're brought up. And so the first instinct, the first fear that set in my mind is that I was not going to be successful in this. And and then I basically, a few days in, I quickly realized, hey, I'm the CEO of my own business. In entrepreneurship, you are the CEO of your business. It comes down to your choices. It's not dictated by other people. It's not dictated by the way the market's going, or the way society is going. It literally comes down to me versus me, right? Can I be a better me, every single day? And if I can, then I'm going to be successful. So basically, I didn't want to. Kaelin talked about rejection. I didn't want to roll over after my first series of no's. I didn't just want to say, "Oh God, they were right. I couldn't do it." I couldn't do it. You know, that's not how we got here. We did not get here by playing dead after the first couple of no's. We got here because we took more no's than you. That's how we got here. We took a lot of no's. And I once I realized it was in my own hands and it wasn't dictated by other people and it wasn't it was truly to be completely honest, it was the personal development that we had started that gave us that shield. Personal development gives you the shield against that rejection, and I realized that shield kept out all the negativity. It kept out all the drama, which in return allowed me, gave me the positivity, gave me the strength to succeed in this business and not listen to what other people say. So if you're having a fear of not being successful, it's completely fine. We've all been there in that situation. Just make sure you acknowledge it and make sure you change it immediately. So it doesn't hinder your business anymore. Because all you got to realize is that you're the CEO of your own business. It comes down to you and you only, no one else. You're in control of your business, so take control today.
Okay, another one that I had, which is I think another really, really common one, is being terrified of the phone. Like literally terrified. Whenever one of our mentors sat down to do our first pre-party with us, um, she basically told me, well, we got to do this. It's the very first step, and if you want to be successful, this is what you have to do. And I literally sat there in tears about to make my first phone call. So I totally know I'm really outgoing, but there's something about the phone that freaks me out. I think it's because I can't feed off of people. I can't see, if they're on the other line like this, like you can in person, and you can feed off of people and kind of get, a feel of what they're thinking, their kind of mannerisms and their body language tell you a lot of things. And the fact that I can't have that on the phone, that's what freaks me out. So if you have a phone fear, the easiest way to get over it is practice, practice, practice. The more phone calls you make, the easier it becomes. I even have helped a couple of people who have a serious fear, as did I, call their people that they knew were going to say no first. Because if you know you're going to get a no, then it's a lot easier to take it. So you call the people first, and go through your conversation. And when they're like, no, I'm not interested, or whatever, it's one of those things, or you're crazy, or cuss you out, or whatever they say, you can just say, okay, awesome. I knew you were going to say no anyways, so I was just calling to practice. And then you move on to the next person. And I found it makes people so much more comfortable because they know they're going to get a no. And so they're just like, oh, well, big deal. Like, this is a practice call. The other thing that we've done is with some of our promoters who are really scared, we have them call us first. Call us. They go through the conversation. They go through the pre-party. They take us through the tools just like they would if we are a prospect of theirs. And if I would come to their challenge party, then I know it's time that we can start calling their actual list. They're comfortable enough with what they're saying, with the conversation. They've gone through it enough with me or with Scotty or anyone else that they're comfortable enough to start making their own phone calls if I would say yes to come to their challenge party. So that's another way that we deal with it. The phone fear is really, really common. That's why it's so important, especially as a new person, to do your pre-party with your upline enroller. Because it's one of the things where if our mentor wouldn't have been there saying, oh, your Aunt Susie just said that, you should have heard what my Aunt Joe said to me because she gave me the book. And I was a lot more comfortable taking that very first no and moved on because someone was there that said, hey, listen, you should have heard what my aunt said to me, and it was a lot worse than what yours said to you, so let's move on. So make sure you're pre-partying with whoever enrolled you, and if you're not being pre-partied by whoever enrolled you, go to them or call who's ever above them and tell them that you aren't being pre-partied correctly, so we can make sure that you're being helped out.
Definitely. And I know another one that we had shared, Another one of our fears was being made fun of, being teased for doing something like this.
Mm-hmm.
For being crazy, and that we're going to lose all of our money, this, that, and the other. You just got schemed, yada yada yada. So obviously, one of our fears were exactly that: being teased, being made fun of, and this goes hand in hand with my first couple of days into the business. I had just signed up, and obviously the first person I called was my best friend. And it didn't go so well. It's Googled the first Visalis, and then you got the suggestion there. It says scam. Read the first article, and that was the end of it. Ruined our friendship. So it started off not so well, but thankfully, with the amazing support that we had as a team, and the strength of Kaelin, I was able to push through that. And looking back on it, it doesn't matter. Obviously today. So I know Kaylin had a lot of problems with.
Yeah, I want you to talk a minute on how you could have easily gave up at that moment, because I think a lot of people, someone close to them says, "Oh, it's not going to work," or "You're crazy," or "You're whatever," and they immediately give up and fall into what that person wants. They don't want you to be successful. So I want you to talk
Definitely,
about
so just like you said, it was obviously very very easily I could have just sat down and died.
that. Mm-hmm.
I could have, got my money back after investing because my best friend told me no, and it was a scheme, and he had the article right there, to supposedly, everything in that article was true, and it would have been very easy to do that. And to be completely honest, if I didn't have a desperate why, if I wouldn't have had a feeling of not being able to afford to buy her a birthday present because I was so broke in the corporate world, and if it wasn't for that feeling, that what she had to go through, and the feeling that I had, inside my heart, inside my gut, then I might have got my money back and listened to my best friend. But thankfully, I had a desperate why. And we'll talk about it later on in another segment of how important a desperate why is. But you can see right there that I had a feeling of I was going to accomplish something in this company, so I would never have to feel that feeling again. And there wasn't no one, not even my best friend, that was going to get in my way. You know, if you're going to get in my way, then just get out of my way and stay out of my way. Because I'm going to the top with or without you, and it's as simple as that.
Yeah, oh, one of the kind of my personal experience with being teased or made fun of, or people thinking we're crazy and stuff like that. Obviously, I was on a college campus when I started, so it was pretty much the butt of a lot of jokes, and a lot of people were making fun of me, right? And I decided that I had to be stronger than everybody else, and I think it fueled me more than anything to be successful, because I wasn't gonna let what they were saying be my fate. So they wanted me to fail, so it just pushed me even harder, because I was like, now I can't fail because I got to show all these people up. And upon what, 11 months after I started, and full time in college and graduated, didn't have to go get a corporate job. And 3 months after graduation, became a 5-figure earner with this company at the age of 22. So not only rolling up on campus with a "told you so" plate, but being able to say, I'm out of debt and I have a $25,000 bonus check and I'm a 5-figure earner at 22 years old. You have to push through what other people say and what they have lined out for you. They don't want you to succeed because they know that they don't have the guts to do what you're doing. So they want you to fail. You just can't let what other people say and what other people think be the deciding factor on your success. You have to push through it. Who cares if someone's like, "Oh, you're not going to get your money back," or "Oh, you're not going to be able to do it"? Like, who cares? What does that person do? You can't let them win, and you can't let your fear outweigh your dreams. You have to realize, like, I have to keep a vision board to where I could see that every single day. On my desk at my college, there's a push pin board above my desk, and I kept everything I wanted to do, everywhere I wanted to go, the people I wanted to help, the things I wanted to have, all the places I wanted to travel, all pinned up there, to where every time somebody was like, "She's crazy," or "It's a shake thing," or "blah, blah, blah, it's a scam," and I was like, whatever. I've already helped, 50 type 2 diabetics come off their insulin. I don't care. This is where I'm going. This is what I'm doing. But if I didn't have my goals lined out and I didn't have where I wanted to go, it would have been easy to just fall by the wayside and be like, oh, no big deal. I guess it just didn't work out for me. You have to have a mission and a personal vendetta to get this stuff done. And you can't let what somebody says of, oh, Kaelin's crazy or Scotty's crazy or he's quitting his corporate job, he's insane. You can't let that get to you. It's you're the deciding factor. You have to let you be the deciding factor, not what anyone else says. It's your choice, not anyone else's. So, kind of just brush off what they say, and that's fine. And once you get that check, all of them come back around to you anyway. So it makes it even more sweet. So
yeah, you guys, basically I wanted to touch on just a few things that I learned from the man himself, Nick Sarnicola. And, he's done an awesome mindset training for us in the past. If you've experienced it, I'm sure it's changed your life as much as it's changed ours. If not, I'm just going to pull a very minute amount, a very few amount of details from his training, and because it relates to what we're talking about, So what's the one thing that holds us all captive? It's fear. Fear holds every single one of us captive in this industry, and not even in this industry, and in the corporate world as well, in our lives, in our relationships, in our every aspect of life. Fear holds us, captive. And one of the things that I first realized about fear is fear has its own acronym, and that acronym is false expectation appearing real. A false expectation appearing real. That's fear. So see, it's not real. But however, we all have those fears. Whether it's you don't know if you're going to be successful. Whether it's rejection, like we talked about. Whether it's not being taken seriously. Whether it's being successful and you don't know what to do. You're not sure what to do with that responsibility. Whether it be terrified of the phone, afraid to talk to people, teased, made fun of, whatever. We've all been there, and we've all go through it. There's nothing different that sets us apart from other people that experience that. There's nothing different, So the only thing that sets us different is we stood up one day, and we realized it came down to us to make that change, So I talked about how fear is a false expectation real, and let me clarify on that. There are two kinds of fear. There is legitimate fear, and there's fake fear, right? So you got legitimate fear, and then fake fear. Legitimate fear is you're in the woods, in the forest, and you're being chased by a bear. He's bearing down at you at 30 miles an hour, faster than you can even run. That is fear. You have something to be afraid of there.
Run!
Because you might not survive that. Fake fear is you're looking down at a list of 25 people, and you're afraid to pick up the phone and call. That is fake fear. You're afraid to call your list of 25 people to tell them about a 90-day health challenge. What is so terrifying about that? What's so scary about that? Right? Like, you're afraid to call a list of people that you know to talk to them about a 90-day health challenge.
That can change their life.
Who cares what they think? Who cares what they say to you? You got punked out by your Uncle Joe, who's $100,000 in debt. What does he know? Uncle Joe lives week to week. Barely scraping by. And Uncle Joe is 110% right about this company. What does he know? What makes him the expert? Who cares what they think? Who cares what they say to you? You guys, are you gonna live if someone tells you that it won't work? Are you gonna live if someone tells you that you're involved in one of those pyramid schemes? Oh man, you're crazy. You lost your money. Is that going to kill you? No. It is not. Or I mean, you're going to live. You're going to live if you pick up that phone and call them about a 90-day health challenge, regardless of what they say. You're going to live. The bear chasing you in the woods at 30 miles an hour, you might not live there.
Be scared.
You might not live. That is real, legitimate fear. But being afraid to pick up this phone and call your list of 25 people, that is nothing to be afraid of. Absolutely nothing to be afraid of. And I need you to understand right now, clearly, get serious with me for a minute. Get serious. Do you understand? Do you understand that you are preventing yourself from having your dream life? Guys, I'm 110% real with you right now. You are preventing yourself from having your dream life. It's true. This right here, this false expectation appearing real, you're preventing yourself from having a dream life just because you won't pick up the phone and call people about a 90-day health challenge. Wow. We had the pleasure of experiencing Nick Sarnacola's live list 2 weeks into the business. His live list breaks down, where would you go in the world? If you were a 5-star ambassador, where would you go? Just take a minute out, write down all the places. Number 2, who would you help? You're a 5-star ambassador, money's not a problem for you, who would you help? Number 3, what would you have? And it's that list. If you do that right there, and you're still afraid to pick up the phone and call people, you're never going to have anything on that list. Mm-hmm. Never. I can say this 100 times in this video, and less than 10% of you will get this. Less than 10% of people that watch this will understand this. You guys are preventing yourself from having your dream life because you're afraid to pick up the phone and call a list of people you know to talk to them about a 90-day health challenge. Just do it, guys. Do it. Get over it. Your dream is awaiting, and we want you to have that dream.
Yes.
More than anything, we want you to have it more than yourself. More than you want it, your absolute self. And I can say that because you are still being captive by fear. And the minute that you decide that fear is not going to hold you captive anymore, is the minute you start chasing your dreams. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, guys, you really can't let your fear outweigh your dreams. One of the things that I said in my ambassador speech, and I didn't even mean to say it, and it just came out, but it sounds really good now. Everybody has had their own struggles in life. Everybody goes through different things, whether it's bankruptcy or loss or, relationship struggles or, family problems or like these big, huge, issues that people go through, losing people. Those are big deals, none of that is in comparison at all to picking up the phone and calling a couple people. Like, you guys have been through a lot worse than just calling people. So look at the scale of the things that you've been through and the hardships you've been through and compare it to making a couple phone calls. That really is what put it in perspective for me. There's a lot bigger things that I've had to have strength to get through than just having to call a list of 20 people. There's not even a comparison there, and it kind of makes the list seem silly. And the last thing we want to leave you with is we really hope that you guys enjoyed this video at challengecouple.net. That's where we'll be keeping them all. And never ever forget that. Here's a good one-liner. Fear is like the boogeyman. Okay, it only exists if you let it. It's your decision if you're gonna let fear exist or not in your business and in your life. So make sure that you guys smash that out really quick and make sure you bring to light all the fears you have, because if you don't bring it to light, you can't you can't get rid of it. So with that, we're gonna leave you guys until the next video. See ya!